I don't necessarily know what the hell my gender is.
I identify as gender non-binary and as a trans woman because my gender is fluid and I prefer she, her pronouns.
I identify as non-binary and also gender fluid.
Genderqueer, non-binary, and gender fluid.
As agender, which to me means basically genderless. I mean, that's the actual definition.
I usually describe my gender as boyish, non-binary, fluid, polygender.
I have recently been questioning this a lot lately. I don't know.
I identify somewhere between demi-boy and gender fluid.
That's a question I ask myself every day.
I just say whatever the heck I feel on that day because I don't know what my gender's doing.
I self-identify as a transgender man.
It's just doing its thing, and I don't know.
My gender changes on a regular basis.
I'm non-binary, more specifically Maverick.
I identify myself as a gender.
I don't identify as being a female or a male, kind of gender neutral, somewhere in the middle of those two things.
I'm not quite sure if I'm actually gender fluid or if I'm a trans male that is so gay that confuses me.
Chances are you've never heard of Maverick before.
I am non-binary and I am an androgen.
While I identify ultimately as a woman, I am super gender variant, and some days I actually feel pretty agender.
Maverick, for me, means that I am not only non-binary, but that my gender identity has absolutely nothing to do with either binary gender or the whole concept of binary anything, male or female, masculine or femininity.
Because there is days that I don't identify as male at all and as like far away from masculinity.
I self-identify as genderqueer. I always have. And to me that means that I don't identify as male, I don't identify as female, I identify as something in between.
And those days I'm like, why was I thinking that I'm a trans man? I'm totally not a boy.
Additionally, I have a strong connection to the word demigirl, but I don't know if any of these feelings are extreme enough to ID as non-binary, bi-gender, or just not cis. At least not yet.
I cannot confidently tell you that I am a girl, nor can I tell you confidently that I am anything else. So, but yeah, if I find out what my gender is, I'll let you know, I promise.
To be honest, I don't feel like I have a gender, but I don't know.
So like it's like a triangle, right? How I see gender. And you have like male and female and agender, and then you have like lines going from all of them, you know, if that makes any sense. That probably does not.
But then when I identify as boy again, I'm like, no, I'm totally a trans dude and I'm super gay. But so it's confusing to me.
I am not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm a genderqueer individual.
Just because my gender changes, they think that my gender isn't as valid, which is not true at all.
I feel partially like a girl and partially like a nothing.
I'm not entirely sure what my gender is. When I first started identifying as non-cisgender, I thought I was agender, then I kind of thought I was transgender. Now I'm leaning more towards the title of genderqueer.
Usually my gender shifts just between non-binary genders.
I mostly identify as a woman. I say mostly because I have times where I'm like, I don't know.
A certain gender that is non-binary but I don't have a name for, I just feel gender, if that makes sense.
And it's probably gonna change like a few days from now and maybe a few hours from now. That's why I think gender fluid is what fits me better, I suppose.
Sometimes I feel agender, which is, to me, it means lack of gender.
I identify as a gender fluid demi-boy because my gender changes a lot.
Gender fluid, non-binary, and genderqueer.
For me, if I want to put a name on my gender, that name would be demigirl.
Gender fluid because my gender can't make up its mind. It just slides all around my personal gender spectrum, seemingly at random.
And sometimes I feel like a demi-boy, which is part boy and part a non-binary identity.
I self-identify my gender as trans, non-binary, galaxy gender.
I'm usually somewhere in between, occasionally beyond.
I'm somewhere between agender and the like mid of the triangle, like between male and female, so I'm like there-ish.
And what non-binary means is it's a gender other than strictly male or female.
I personally identify as a porous gender and gender fluid.
I'm not sure how I define what a woman is. I don't know.
Not a singular gender.
So I definitely see myself as kind of a soft femme. I don't see myself as a hardcore, and I certainly don't see myself as a butch. And I could consider myself a soft butch.
So I kind of fluctuate between girl and agender, I guess, if I was going to pick one.
Which you probably guessed already because I said gender fluid.
As I identify as demi-gendered, basically it means I fit somewhere partially in the middle, partially female, partially male, partially neither.
I don't really have a simple answer to this. It's what I feel.
So sometimes I don't really feel like I am anything. I never ever feel like a boy, but I do not always feel like a girl.
I'm fluid between apora genders.
I am agender, and that means that I don't have a gender. So that's basically it.